call the meeting to order. First, do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we are starting with our organizational meeting, thus why I am starting the meeting, and we will now go to the oath of office. So will our newly elected board members, re-elected board members, please come to the all together. We're going to do these separately one at a time. So would you like me to start? Okay.
So I'm going to have you stand on this side. And you want to raise your right hand. I'll nicely recite this.
Okay.
I, Angelina Barnes, do solemnly swear
I, Angelina Barnes, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of the member of the Board of Education
of the office of the member of the Board of Education
of DeWitt Public Schools, Clinton County, Michigan,
of DeWitt Public Schools, Clinton County, Michigan,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You want to come over and sign this? And next we'll do blood.
I guess.
Okay. I, Dwight Hansbach, do solemnly swear
Way to get started. I, Dwight Hansbach, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of the member of the Board of Education
of the office of the member of the Board of Education
of DeWitt Public Schools, Clinton County, Michigan,
of DeWitt Public Schools, Clinton County, Michigan,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability. Thank you.
So quick. Raise your right hand, John. I, John Tramontano, do solemnly swear
I, John Tramontana, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of the member of the Board of Education
of the office of the member of the Board of Education
of DeWitt Public Schools, Clinton County, Michigan,
of DeWitt Public Schools, Clinton County, Michigan,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
All right, thank you. And then Deb will go ahead and do a roll call vote, or roll call.
Angelina Barnes.
Here.
Dwight Hansbach.
Here.
Jason Hanselman.
Here.
Brad Stoddard. John Tramontana.
Here.
Lisa Truscott.
Here.
Brad Weaver.
Here.
Lucas Grazzi.
Here.
All right, good. Thank you. So now we move to the organization of the Board of Education. So January through December 31st of 2023, we are doing the election of officers for that time frame, and we will start with president. So I am calling for nominations for the office. Oh, what's that? Oh, sorry. Yes, thank you. I'm new at this. So we do need to adopt the agenda, so I need a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved. Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so agenda passes. Now we'll open up the nomination for, okay.
I would like to nominate Jason Hanselman for president.
Support. Okay, so we have a nomination for Jason and a second. Any other nominations? Okay, nominations are now closed. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations.
I'll nominate John Tramontana as Vice President, Brett Stoddard as Secretary, and Brad Weaver as Treasurer.
So we have nominations for Vice President, Secretary, and Treasurer. Are there any other nominations? Nominations are closed.
Do we need to
We
second
need
that?
support.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. We have all of our offices filled. And at this time, we'll have President take over with the rest of the organizational meeting.
Shanna, it's a recommendation that the DeWitt Public Schools Board of Education establishes a regular board meeting schedule and the organizational meeting on the following Mondays to begin at 6 p.m. at the DeWitt Board of Education office. Schedules as follows: February 13th, March 13th, April 10th, May 8th, June 12th, July 10th, August 14th, September 11th, October 9th, November 13th, and December 11th, with an organizational meeting of January 8th, 2024. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Support.
Move to support. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The recommendation by the DeWitt Public Schools Board of Education established work sessions on the following Mondays, also to begin at 6 p.m. at the DeWitt Board of Education office: April 24th, June 26th, August 28th, and November 27th. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. It's the recommendation that the superintendent of schools be the person designated to post meeting notices, with the administrative assistant to the superintendent authorizing an alternate, and the secretary of the Board of Education also named as an authorized as an alternate. Do we have a motion?
So, support?
Moved and supported. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. It's the recommendation that for January through December 2023, the following be designated as official depositories of school funds: PNC Bank, Fifth Third Bank, and the Michigan School District Liquid Asset Fund. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. It's the recommendation that the signatures of the superintendent, assistant superintendent for finance and operations, president, and treasurer of the board be authorized, and the signature cards of the officially designated banks for the purposes of making deposits, withdrawals, wire transfers, and/or internal transfer of school funds held in the district's accounts. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Support.
Moved to support. Any discussion?
I have a question.
Yeah, shoot.
It says that the signatures of the superintendent, assistant superintendent for finance operations, president, and treasurer be authorized on the signature cards. Does that mean all of them have to sign a specific card, or
No.
is it because of Ian?
That we all are able to sign on the card.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's not that they all have
Yeah.
to be, you know.
Just we're all
okay. I just want
authorized.
to make sure it wasn't that everybody had to sign. Okay.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. It's the recommendation that the assistant superintendent for finance and operations be designated as the investment officer in accordance with policy 6144. Do you have a motion?
So moved. Support.
Moved to supported. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Recommendation that the superintendent, assistant superintendent for finance and operations, and appropriate building administrators be authorized to sign checks, contracts, agreements, and purchase orders as subject to the DeWitt public school policies. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Moved to supported. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Recommendation that the Board of Education approve the resolution to delegate authority of directing the administration of district monies as presented. Have a motion.
So moved. Support.
Moved to supported. All in favor, please. I'm sorry, any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. It's the recommendation that the administrative assistant to the superintendent be appointed as recording secretary for the Board of Education and also be designated as the official recipient of DEA, DAA, and decimal communications to the DeWitt Public Schools Board of Education. Do you have a motion?
So moved. Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Yeah, so we are going to have 3 committees. So right now we have a finance and curriculum committee, and we're adding a policy committee. So the policy says that you can
Okay,
appoint.
so we're just designating.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
got it. Recommendation that the board president appoint members of the board to standing committees where they shall serve a term of 1 year. The following committees: the finance committee, a curriculum committee, and now a policy committee. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Move to support. Any discussion? All in favor? Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
All in
I
favor?
just have one question. So does the sexual education reproduction, is that a committee? Is it a board?
That's a
committee?
separate,
Something
that's a
Just
separate
wanted to-
committee,
okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
And is this not appointing people? Is it just designating that we have these 3 committees?
That's what I was asking too.
It's, we have the 3
For now.
committees, and then we'll go into who wants to serve on those committees.
All of you has to figure out who wants to serve and who makes the best fit. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And committees. Next item.
So we do have some upcoming meetings, especially with curriculum committees, so make sure you talk with Jason about which committee, if you want to stay on the current committees that you're on.
Oh, I'm gonna talk to you. Presentations.
All right. So the first presentation that we have is school board recognition. So January is school board recognition month. And so you have a packet in front of you. You have some cards that were made by Mrs. Hubbard's middle school art class. You have a folder that has a magnetic name plate. So that's a name badge that you can wear when you're out at community events. And then a certificate of appreciation. And the last thing that's in there is, unfortunately, I don't have the more to your door copies, hard copies, but they're supposed to come out this week. And in there will be 2 pages. There will be a board appreciation page that talks a little bit about your service to the district and thanking you for your service. And then the other page will be kind of an introduction to the district, how you can get more information about the district. And what's nice is that there are 10,000 magazines that are produced and that go out there. So one of the things we talked about was having a bigger reach beyond just the parents and the school community, but the greater community. So I'm hoping this will be a way to get that information out. And then my plan is to each month try to do a half page within the publication. I'm also looking at the Chamber magazine and doing a half page in there as well. But because we'll be able to get those out to over 10,000 households, I'm thinking that will help extend the reach of the district and is a way to get more information. So.
Well, I appreciate you using this 15-year-old picture because I would have
So these are the pictures that you all submitted at one time saying that's what the picture that you wanted to use.
I still want to use that.
Well, I'm working on a district profile that will also go, I'm looking at it going to the library and some of our retirement communities, and I'm hoping to use the pictures from tonight. But yes, so thank you again for your service, and we just wanted to make sure that we recognized you. And again, these are nameplates; they can come off and go on your. Yeah, Angelina's sporting hers already.
Put it on.
So, thank you.
Mr. Wisner.
Yes.
All right. So thank you for having us. So I'm now the advisor to our newly formed group of Model United Nations that we have at DeWitt High School. And so we wanted to come to the Board of Education, one, to share some of the things that we were
That's getting the microphone for you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can go.
Just so our online friends can hear.
Yes.
You have to turn it on.
Thank you. So we'd like to present for the DeWitt High School's Model UN Club, which is new to DeWitt High School. We were able to attend an event in the Lansing area held at the Lansing Center in the Radisson in last month, and we thought that one of the components that we'd like to do is just share how that went, also share some of our purpose and our drive and what we hope to accomplish. One of the things that was a fantastic takeaway is the ability for Model UN to collaborate with other school districts, to partake in global issues. The specific summit was the Canadian and American Security Council's summit, so we had students take part in discussions as NATO members and NATO states, the United Nations Security Council, as well as the Arab League. And so with those represented groups, we were able to tackle multiple issues and have great discussions. The other component we've really enjoyed out of Model UN is just the breadth of career opportunities and networking that can take place that makes history education and social studies education much more than just becoming a history teacher or a college professor, but looking at international relations and some of the discussions that take place. So to be cognizant of your time, but to also have students share, what I'd like to do is have a few of the students who attended share their experience and what they were able to take away from attending this event as we hope to attend other events in the future. So Fatima, if it's okay, would you like to lead off as our club president and founder of DeWitt Model UN? And then what we'll do is have you call each other up and continue to share your...
We're gonna
Less intimidating.
You guys, yeah, you guys know.
Do you want the stand? Would it be easier with the mic stand?
Do I have to use the mic?
If you want to say
Line on line, yeah.
You gotta use the mic.
So Model UN has broadened my worldviews and spectrum of interest, and I have learned a lot about leadership and how to lead other people and how to organize a group and communicate with other people very well, with sending out emails and trying to get interest and get like feedback on how like they want like things to be run and who are interested in participating in the event at CAST. We had such a great time, and we had like I believe we had really good states, like nation states at the beginning. It was the research aspect and the writing position papers. It was all so new, but all the people at CAST were so helpful, and the people at Model UN are so kind and nice. Like in the group that I was in, everyone was so willing to like help me like figure out how to write like papers and resolutions, and it was such a learning experience for me as the first like conference. You learn a lot as like having an easy country, and it was really like eye-opening about how like nice other people are when you meet all these new students and the friendships that like I built there. Like it was such a nice time. Like I can't believe it was only 2 days. Felt way longer.
Okay, yeah. One of the best things I thought about the conference was being able to collaborate with people from other schools. We definitely made a lot of new friends, and we got to see a lot of different people's perspectives. Also working on like resolutions to the issues we were discussing. We worked on our problem solving skills and being able to collaborate better with other people. I just thought it was really fun and a really great experience.
Can you give us your name as well, please?
I'm Grace Kimball.
Oh, I'm Fatima Race.
I am Melissa Matko, and I was extremely nervous for my first conference, but I felt like so successful when I did it. I was like, oh my god, like I can do this. I know it like Model UN given me like an updated, educated understanding on the current like world issues. It also like helped me like socialize, like get out of my shell, and like talk to other people and from different schools. And I just met a lot of great people, and it was an amazing time. I had a lot of fun. So.
And I know for a fact, I think your son joined. Your son is in
Noah?
Yeah, yeah, Noah and Cole, I think too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure. I'm Daniel Lubes. I'm not very good at public speaking, and beyond learning about like the history and foreign relations at Model UN, it's very helpful for me to just be able to get out there and learn more about how to be better at public speaking. And that's mainly what I gained from it.
Hey, you just did a great job. Yeah, so feel confident in yourself.
I'm Cooper Malore. I gained a whole new insight on how like resolutions and how global resolutions and international relations are taking place. I've always had an interest in this throughout my history classes, but it gave me an eye-opening experience and really showed how our world is like, how everything made. And then it also gave me a lot of confidence in working to find a compromise to the solutions or to the problems that we were facing. So it really showed me a whole lot about how international affairs are taking place.
So Dan, can you, if you want to point this to somebody else, can you just give me like the really 50,000 foot level of what do they do? Like, are they assigned a country?
Absolutely. So the first event that we attended, they are assigned a country, and the event we did was individual. So each student represented a different nation state, and they were actually separated into different rooms. So there are approximately 12 to 15. I think 15 was the largest. So 12 to 15 students representing other schools. East Lansing attended. A lot of the other ones were Southeast Michigan school districts, and each one for the Security Council would represent a current member state that's serving on that council. And then they would often have 2 issues. It was a 2-day conference, and so they'd begin by addressing one issue, raising and writing resolutions, negotiating with other nation states that were being represented by other students, and then trying to find and vote to resolutions, which creates drama and infighting. And I think overall it was hilarious as the advisor to kind of go from hallway to hallway in the Lansing Center, and you drop in and get a fly on the wall type look, and then they would go to adjourn or would go to lunch, and you just hear the stories of, oh, this country was doing this, and I can't believe they negotiated that. And so in that regard, it was there. There are other events, one in Kalamazoo we hope to attend in the future, in which we would function as a team of 5 representing one nation state. And that would be a little bit more intensive, both in number of days as well as research and prep before the event.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
My apologies if you said this in the beginning, I'm sorry. Is this a new club?
This is a new club. Yeah, so it's just a club at DeWitt High School. We were able to get formally added to the club list this year with support and really the work of Fatima and several other high school students. Took the initiative, had me stand up as a AP World History teacher and World History teacher. I felt obligated once they really had done so much work to get it going. And so the actual organizations themselves are pretty long-standing, and the East Lansing advisor, who was really instrumental in some of our beginnings and what to do and how to best do it, has been doing this in East Lansing and other schools for over 30 years.
I'm very pleased to hear that this is in DeWitt now. Thank you for your efforts to get the group created. And one of my favorite things about being on the school board is hearing students come and present. So thank you so much for sharing your experience with us.
And you don't have to stay for the rest of the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know when the Kalamazoo event is?
So the Kalamazoo event is it March 1st through 4th? Yes, so March 1st through 4th in Kalamazoo. We're still basically in the hurdle stage of making certain we can do that. One stage we know there's a February deadline if we were to attend a Toledo event, which is a historical council, where instead of a current issue, it would be taking the 6 Days War or the partition in India and trying to solve resolutions pertaining to that. So there are 2 more events we're looking at potentially attending this year, and then hoping to do all 3 next. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Retro looks my
I'll take it. You ready for the next one?
Great.
All right, so I'm here just to present on the continuity of learning plan. So as you know, I presented on this in January, and it has now become 6 months later, and we have to kind of do a refresh or talk about the continuation of the plan. So I just want to highlight a few slides. First of all, I would like to do some celebrations, and I think one of the best things is that we're really getting back to familiar. And I like using back to familiar, but more than I do back to normal, because I think we've learned a lot over the last couple of years, and we've been able to make some changes and have had a lot of growth. Our activities and events, as you had seen, they're back to usual, where we're able to attend in person and have in-person events. And staffing and subs, it's definitely getting better. So we do still have some shortages, and we've been working on filling those, but it's been much, much better than last year. Student behavior and engagement has been increasing, and our buildings have really been working on positive school climate, and there's been a lot of work done there. So the plan components are mitigation strategies. So this is a list of the components that have to be included in the plan, but it's basically mitigating COVID. And the thing that I want to talk about most is why we have to do this. So we are receiving ARP funds, so especially with ESSER 3 and Title 11T funds. And so with that, we have to make sure that we have a plan in place to be able to receive those funds. So Michigan, in the state of Michigan, that means that this can be talked about at a board meeting. Obviously, as our policies have been here in DeWitt, as we post things, so this plan has been posted on the website prior to the meeting. People can make comment about the plan, and then it provides that opportunity. So there is no federal statute or guidelines that require the board to make a formal vote on the plan or approve the plan. So the timeline in 2021, when these first came up, it was required for boards to vote pretty regularly on the plan and the continuation. Last year, we were just providing updates. We weren't receiving money, so we had some updates, but not an official plan because it wasn't necessarily needed. In July, we had the presentation on this plan, and now we're to the point to where we're updating. So the scope is that it was a county-wide plan, so it was involved all the districts in the county, all the superintendents, and we took a look at our own stakeholder groups, the last year's plan, and so it's modified a little bit from last year where there's a lot more choice and it's broader and the scope is broader. But at December's meeting, all the superintendents said that they were planning on continuing with their current plan and not changing the plan. So that's what we'll be doing here in DeWitt. Again, the levels are low, medium, and high. The full plan is linked. Again, not changing anything, but what I do want to highlight is that the plan has helped us have in-person instruction, in-person sports, activities, and events. Cleaning operations and protocols are based on the levels of low, medium, and high, and that we are really leaning on the health department to give us guidance, not only with COVID, but with flu and RSV. I mean, we've been hit, some of our buildings have been hit hard, and we do contact the health department to work through some of those issues. So basically, we're extending it, no changes. There haven't been any changes with CDC or the health department. We're using those CDC levels. It addresses the requirements for the funding, and it sustains the practices that we've worked really hard to put into place and develop to keep our kids in school, and it is a county-wide adoption. The last thing is just to note that this plan is done in conjunction with our benchmark goals, and you'll be hearing out on the academic pieces next month when Mr. Ducker will be presenting on those benchmark goals and where we are. So any questions?
How much longer do we need the continuity?
Until we've taken all the funds. So we could be doing this another couple of years, every 6 months. And so one of the things that's advised that is if the health department or CDC changes, then obviously we have to change our plan because it's based on that. But again, the plan really offers a lot for choice, and there are no mandates within the plan unless the health department or higher up would have those mandates.
All right. Move to appoint an acting secretary. Lisa.
Sure, ask it again. So,
Lisa Trescott.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we just have one tonight, Will?
All right, well, thank you as always. First, I want to give a shout out to the board for sending the visitor policy to the policy committee and forming the policy committee. That was awesome. I want to recognize Trustee Barnes for doing that. As you can imagine, there's a lot of concern over having sexual predators or people allowed onto our campus, and I think everybody deserves just an explanation of what we have in place to prevent that from happening, and I look forward to the opportunity. That's what I've been asking for, and thank you very much for that. Second, I want to talk a little bit about the continuity of service plan. First of all, it really surprises me that this plan does not require a board vote. We're talking about possibly shoving students back into remote learning, pausing athletics, quarantining healthy kids, and masking again. These were all very harmful actions to our students, and I believe every member should go on record to whether or not they support doing this. When I reflect back on the last 2 years, I see many things that were done wrong. And we made changes to the COVID plan, and I appreciate that, but there's still a lot of stuff in that that isn't any good. The remote learning was a failure for many of our kids. It was a failure for my kid. There was no makeup for high schoolers. They didn't have summer school. They basically lost school if they couldn't learn that way. Masking was cruel, and everyone knows that the mask they wore did nothing to protect anyone. Masking is still in there. And quarantining healthy people, that was just out of bounds. But here we are again with the same plan, and I know we might be required to have this plan, but there's still a lot of stuff in it that just doesn't make any sense. So I really wonder if the board has reflected on this last 2 years. I wonder if any of you think it makes sense to shut schools down, which are included in there, mask people and quarantine students, and pause sports, all the things that caused a lot of issues with mental health. So I don't like the plan. I don't think it should be approved. I think it should be modified. I think we know the only real way to reduce virus transmission in our schools is through HVAC improvements. There are proven improvements that will fix some of the problems and help. Everyone wants our schools to be more healthy, and I would look forward and I would be more than willing to volunteer my time to investigate some of those things. Thank you all.
Thank you. Student report.
First of all, Happy New Year, everybody. Hope everyone got to spend time with friends and family. Just have a nice time to relax. We talked about earlier, it's Board Appreciation Month. Just wanted to say thank you for all the work that you guys do for the school, the students. I want you all to know that we all really appreciate it. Well, this week is finals week. Students will have half days on both Thursday and Friday for the final schedule. On Thursday, students will have their first and second block finals, and on Friday, students will have third and fourth block finals. 9-2 will end on Friday the 13th, and the third 9 weeks will start on 16th, Monday. For athletics, on Saturday, January 7th, the boys swim team won the Saginaw Heritage Relays, winning 428 out of a possible 440 points. They also have 2 meets this week. The first is at home on January 12th against St. John's, and the second is away on January 14th against Common Christian. The girls varsity basketball team on December 22nd, they played Williamson High School and won the score of 50-31. On December 29th, the basketball team played Mumford High School and won 60-44. Next game is away on January 11th against Gold Lake. And so far they're undefeated, so it will be kind of interesting to see how the rest of this season plays out. The boys varsity basketball team on December 28th, they faced Harlan High School and won 56-34. Their next game is on the 10th against Mason High School. The wrestling team on January 6th and 7th faced off against multiple opponents at home. During those meets, the girls came first, the guys came second, and had 5 undefeated players. Among those opponents were Waverly, Owasso, Amity St. John's, Everett, and Lansing Sexton. Their next meet is way at St. John's High School on January 11th. With clubs, student government is currently planning its high school winter formal called Winterfest. It's going to be the first Winterfest in 5 years due to COVID-19 and other problems that have occurred in the past. It's going to be very similar to homecoming in that it will have Spirit Week, it will have pep assembly. There's still current debate on other details, but it's all going to be like winter themed. The dance is currently planned to be on Saturday, February 4th. And also for student government, they will be attending their regional forum on January the 11th to meet with other student governments in the region. And that's kind of to see what other student governments are doing, to see what we can bring to back here and what we have to provide to other students. National Honor Society at lunch next week on January 19th and January 20th. NHS members will have students sign up for a blood drive that NHS hosts every year. This event is open to the public, and for more information, you can contact NHS advisors, Mrs. Cotter and Mrs. Crouch.
Thank you. Our consent agenda is next. It's the recommendation by Superintendent Shannon Spiggert that the Board of Education approve adopt and accept the following items for immediate implementation. An appropriate action is presented. Approval of the December 12th regular and closed session meeting minutes. Treasurer's report and bills, confirmation for payment for the month of December 2022. The treasurer has reviewed the checks, ACH debits, and purchase card for the month of December 2022. And we also have a request for approval of a out-of-state overnight trip for the baseball team to Omaha Beach, Florida, over spring break, March 24th through March 30th, 2023. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Support. Moved and supported. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Final action item is the recommendation DeWitt Public Schools Board of Education approved the bus leasing resolution, which includes the leasing of 18 Bluebird school buses from the Holland Bus Company. Do you have a motion?
So moved. For support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion? You want to provide any additional order?
Just that this is our best option right now with increases in prices, and so this is the plan for temporary to just continue on with the lease that we have, and then look into our options of possibly purchasing these buses and having them available after the lease agreement. I don't know, Rob, if you have anything else you want to say?
No, that summarizes it pretty well. So our goal is a year from now to likely purchase most, if not all of these buses, and get back into kind of a 2 to 3 bus replacement cycle every year beyond that point. With some of the structural changes that we made over the last several years, the shift from leasing to purchasing seems to make more sense with our current bus structure, transportation department structure, just interest rate rises and all those things.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution's approved. Public communications on any other subject?
Nothing in the basket.
Nothing in the basket. Superintendent's report.
All right, so I'd first just like to highlight, to clarify with the plan, with that plan, there is no universal remote learning. It's been our plan all along to make sure that we keep in-person instruction. Also, there are no mask requirements within that plan unless it is forced with outside of the district. And then last but not least, the sports are all dependent on MHSAA and their guidance. So the district is not looking at making any universal mandates as far as that's concerned. A couple of things. It's been pretty quiet since our last meeting. It's great to have everybody back and I think well rested. We have 2 upcoming presentations I wanted to let the board and community know about. Unfortunately, they're on the same night. So, however, they're both going to be recorded and available for people to get. The first is the DeWitt Community Partnership for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion is going to host a virtual cultural exchange panel. And we have 4 different students or people from MSU that will be speaking, one from the Philippines, one from India, one from Kenya, and then one from Pakistan. And they'll be talking a little bit about their culture so people can attend the Zoom meeting. I don't know, Dwight, if you want to talk any more about that, or?
I just think it's a good opportunity for us to expand upon a program that Keith Cravata did recently. Middle schoolers had an opportunity for students from Michigan State to come in and share about culture and different experiences. I had a chance to go over and check it out. It was really, really neat. The students had an opportunity to either play board games, basketball, a couple other activities, or sit in on these particular sessions, and 15 to 20 students rotated between rooms to make that their choice, demonstrated that they had an interest in learning more about culture, and the event was built off the backs of those students in the school. So it wasn't something that Keith came up with. It was a student-driven agenda. At least one of the students that is going to present at the panel is going to be a part of the panel, was a part of the event already for DeWitt, so he already has some knowledge about the district a little bit. So just be a good opportunity for us to learn, expand, and learn more about other cultures and increase our awareness.
And that's it. What's the date and time for
The
that?
26th. So it's January 26th from 6 to 7:30. And so this flyer is kind of posted on the DeWitt Community Partnership page with the QR code. So we're just asking people to register, and then we'll get the Zoom link out to those people who are interested. And then we're hoping then to put it on the page as well, the recording of the event. The other event is new online threats targeting students. So we have local FBI presenters who will be talking about sextortion as the biggest one that they have seen, and starting with even middle school students. So this is basically predators who will work to convince youth to send, nude or inappropriate pictures, and then they extort them by asking for money, or they put them out. And so this is for parents or young adults, adolescents who are interested in learning a little bit more about this and how to protect our children and oneself from it. So there are two different, or they're the same presentation, but two different locations. The first is on the 18th from 6 to 7 at St. John's in the auditorium. And these are available to all Clinton County parents and families. The second is here on the 26th. So if you wanted to go on the 18th to this and then the 26th on the other, you could. But the one on the 26th will also be live streamed and recorded, so people don't necessarily have to come to see the presentation. So those are two that we've been working on, and we're very excited to be able to offer community members. Any questions about those events?
If community members want to access the recordings, are we going to post those somewhere?
Yes.
To reach out to
Yeah.
you, or how?
So they'll be posted on the website. So the DeWitt Community Partnership one will be posted on that webpage, and then we'll figure out, like under community events, we'll post the sextortion online threats.
And you said they're at the same time?
Well, unfortunately, one is 6 to 7 and the other one is 6 to 7:30.
Okay.
But again, this one is available on St. John's on the 18th as well. And then walking school bus program has been very, very successful, but our coordinator is stepping down, so the posting is out there if you know anybody that is interested. So we have two things. We had a new grant this year to help sustain that program, but it also included additional funds for a volunteer coordinator. So technically, the same person could do both positions, or it could be two different people, but it's $20 an hour. It's somebody that knows logistics really well and scheduling. So that posting is up, and so we're hoping that we'll get someone to volunteer for one or both of those positions, because it has been a successful program. I'd like to thank Danielle Goody, who's been running that program. She's done a fantastic job with that, but she'll be taking on another, she actually took on another job starting this new year, and so we do need a replacement for her. And the last thing that I wanted to say is, while we don't have a specific school resource officer, today is School Resource Officer Day, and we work very closely with both of our local police departments and both of the chiefs and all of our officers. So I just want to extend thank you and recognition. It's been great partnering with our departments and all of our officers, and it's just really want to make sure that you guys know how much we support you and all that you do for the school district. And last but not least, just want to restate appreciation for the board appreciation, and hopefully, there were a lot of accolades on the Facebook page already, and lots of comments and likes. So thank you for your service, and we just really appreciate all that you do for the district.
Quick question.
Yes.
On busing. I know one of the drivers was on a leave. Is that person scheduled to come back this month? Are we still short and skipping routes?
So I don't think that person is able to come back, but George is working with onboarding two. The problem is that one of them has to be off until April, because they were employed last year and they have to wait that 9 months before they can come back and work, one of them won't be able to come on to the spring, and I thought the other one would be able to come on by the end of this month. But the one that was out on leave is not able to come back yet.
So are you looking for permanent drivers, or do you think we are adequate?
I think we're okay for permanent, at this point, but we do need substitute drivers. And I'm sure George wouldn't necessarily turn down permanent drivers, but I think he's pretty close to being fully staffed.
So are we still canceling routes temporarily? Or are we in?
I didn't hear that any were canceled for this.
We were a canceled route and we're back up and running, so we're.
Well, we were rotating them, so families wouldn't have more than a week. But I wasn't updated that there were any. I don't think that there were any canceled for this week.
Okay.
Anything else? Questions? All right.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support, all in favor?
Aye.